This is Teenage Scream, where we lovingly dissect the best and worst of 90s teen horror.
I'm Heather Parry, and this is my co-host, Kirsty Logan.
Hi, Heather.
Hey, Kirsty.
So what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about Funhouse by the fantastically named Diane Hoh.
And this book is from 1991.
Ah, you see, I thought it might be late stage.
Apparently not. Apparently not. One of the earlies. So it says.
I was looking up point horror on Wikipedia, that source of accurate information.
Because that's what we do in our free time now.
It really is. It's becoming an issue. But they said something about the amount of books they'd produced in like 4 or 5 years, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, they must have been churning them out, which explains the quality of some of them.
Some of them it shows.
Yes. This one, maybe not.
Well, let's see. Tell me about this book.
So the cover, Funhouse, is written in hot neon pink in a great font, very jaggy sort of font.
I do like that font.
Yeah, and the cover is an illustration, and it's in a theme park, which I think looks like Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which I imagined this entire book to be in Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which became confusing at some points. But the Funhouse has like pirate and witch faces on it, and an evil clown face on the front, and the door is opening for a shaft of light to go towards the reader. Shaft of light. That's it.
I don't know, that just sounded gross when you said it.
Shaft of light. That's a typical phrase. That's not me over-sexualizing.
It is. Clearly, my mind's just in the gutter today.
And the tagline tells us, "You can die laughing," which I think probably true.
Yeah, I think a guy did die laughing. I think he had a heart attack while laughing.
Really?
Apparently, so they say. I remember I loved this book as a kid. It was one of my favourites. And I think it was just because I thought it was really kind of glamorous, because I grew up in like a small town in the Midlands, so this idea of like having a theme park right on the beach was like so cool and glamorous to me, and I really liked it.
Oh, yeah, that is quite cool, isn't it?
And clearly I was a moron because it's terrible, but...
One of my best friends currently lives down in Hastings, and they have like arcades on the beach, and we spent so much money in there as 31-year-old people. So it still has some pull.
Yeah, I still find it quite appealing, but I really like kind of theme parks and stuff, and I'm a bit obsessed with them because when I was a kid there were 2 theme parks not at beaches that we used to go to, and I looked them both up recently and they've both been abandoned, so you can find all these creepy pictures. They're called Camelot and Gulliver's World, the other one was, and you can find all these creepy pictures online of all the rides that I remember from my childhood. They're all like abandoned and graffitied and covered in
We should go.
dirt and stuff. I know.
We should do a road trip.
I know. It's just creepy when you see like something from your childhood that's abandoned like that. It's really strange. Anyway, let's get right into Funhouse. I'm really trying hard not to sing the song. Funhouse, a whole lot of fun, prizes to be won.
It's not that much fun though.
What, the show?
No.
Oh, the Funhouse.
The show was untouchable.
Yeah, there was a guy at my high school had been on Funhouse, and I really fancied him, and I don't to this day know whether that's why I fancied him.
I imagine it was. For my 21st birthday party, we had a dress-up party, and you had to come as a kids' TV character from like the 80s and 90s. Oh, you would have loved it. I'm just realising. I was Super Ted, and my best friend Ellie was Danger Mouse. And my boyfriend at the time was Pat Sharp. And I bought him a red bomber jacket and then sewed Funhouse on the back of it. And he got it. He got the mullet wig.
Oh my god! Has he still got that jacket? Because I want it.
I don't know. I don't speak to him anymore.
Well, I would like you to make me a Funhouse bomber jacket, please.
I would also like to say that there was someone who came as Inspector Gadget with an arm, a fake arm that came out of the back of his jacket, and someone who came as both Chip and Dale.
That is cool.
Isn't that really cool? Like half and half. That was a great party.
That's very cool. If they were going to extend the time period, I could be Edna Mode from The Incredibles, because I think I look like her.
Oh yeah, you totally do. I can see that now. You'd make a great Edna Mode.
Right? just need to dye my hair black. Okay, let's get into Funhouse. Okay. So, we get right into it. Right, the plot goes boom right at the beginning. So, we meet Tess Landers, who witnesses the roller coaster crash, which, quote, killed Dade Lewis, destroyed Sherry Buchanan's face, and separated Joey Furman forever from his left leg. So pretty dramatic. That's the first page. However, don't worry, because we now have 3 pages of backstory.
Okay, fantastic.
So, starts well, and then let's just hold back a bit.
Destroyed Sherry Buchanan's face. Destroyed her face. I imagine it completely caved in.
Yeah.
Like something's hit the middle and the entire structure of the skeleton has fallen away.
Not just damaged her face, but destroyed.
Her. Ooh.
That was pretty bad. But you're not going to find out for ages because we need all the backstory first.
Of course.
So, here's the backstory. We're at the boardwalk in Southern California, which I find really unusual because usually in point horror books they don't actually say where they're set, which I always quite liked. It was this kind of sense of America as just this kind of mass of, cornfields and homecoming dances and never differentiated in any way. So I find that interesting that it says specifically Southern California.
Although I completely glossed over that and it is Blackpool in my head. Just to preface this, have you ever been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just so we're on the same page.
As a child.
Okay.
I don't really remember it that well.
Oh, it's worth returning to.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh.
It's got a great queer scene now, hasn't it?
Has it?
Apparently.
We should go for a road trip weekend.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That sounds fun. Let's do it. So, the only thing is, I fell into an internet pit, like you do, because I was like, oh, Southern California, so this must be a real place. So I looked it up, the name of the town where they live. I don't think it is a real place in Southern California, because there's a place called that in Mexico, but it's just a road. And then, I absolutely fell into a pit because I started looking up houses in Southern California to see what the houses were like, where they would have lived in this book. They're huge. Well, they're not actually as much as you would think, because you can get a 4-bed house for 1.5 million, which is cheaper than London.
Yeah, true.
And this is now, not in the 90s.
Although, see, I know a friend who lives in Charleston, and they got a really big house for $400,000. So
wow.
I think that's quite pricey for American prices.
I mean, well, that's true. Houses are a lot cheaper there, aren't they?
And bigger, just huge, and everyone's got tracts of land around them. You know what I mean? Everyone.
Well,
literally everyone in America.
Literally everyone
lives on a ranch.
I also found I really looked at a lot of houses in Southern California, like you do, and they all have that weird interior design where everything is beige, except they don't call it beige; they call it champagne.
Oh no, you can't.
Yeah,
champagne-ify beige.
But that's what everything's like.
Really?
It's all, the kind of huge rooms, like really wide rooms, but very low ceilings. Anyway. Clearly we've been spending our time really productively lately. Are we on deadline? Yes. Anyway, so Tess, when she was 13, her parents divorced. This is all... We've seen the crash, and they're like, I know you want to hear about the crash. Let me tell you Tess's entire backstory. So when she was 13, her parents divorced, and her dad married Shelley. Then at 17, they split up, and Tess went with Shelley, which seems weird to me. Because she was only known Shelley for a few years, but okay.
That just made me think that her dad must have some sexual abuse history.
Oh,
shit. That's why they wouldn't leave a girl with him.
You've made this book so much darker.
Yeah, sorry.
Fuck. Okay, anyway.
I mean, we've already had a destroyed face. It's quite dark.
That's true.
It gets darker.
It does get quite dark.
Very dark.
The only thing... I feel quite sorry for Tess, actually, even though she's horrible, because neither parent seems to like her. Like, her dad doesn't care that she's gone to live with her stepmom, or ex-stepmom, even. And then her stepmom doesn't really like her either, because she immediately goes on a massive holiday and leaves Tess alone in the house. Okay, then.
I think it's quite interesting. You don't often have a point horror heroine who has an unstable background.
Oh, that's true.
Isn't it? Yeah. And why do you think she's awful?
She's just nasty.
Is she?
I don't think she's very nice. Clearly you like this book more than I do. We'll get into that. I just think she's a shallow, stupid bitch.
Jesus. I don't know if the word just should have come before that sentence.
Clearly,
I don't really have much of an opinion.
Maybe I was grumpy when I read this. I just
more than I've hated any other human.
I mean, I'm neutral apart from my hate.
I didn't get that she was a bad guy.
Oh, well, I'll get into why I think that. Okay. Anyway. So, however, she is one of 2 children. And the other, her brother, who stayed with the dad, he is called Guy Joe Jr.
Guy Joe, no.
Because if you have a name like Guy Joe, I mean, you got to pass that shit on.
Guy Joe, you can't have
Guy
it.
Joe.
You can't have two one-syllable first names.
No.
No, it just doesn't work.
Guy
Luann,
Joe.
I suppose, would be better.
I mean, I guess, but you don't get many people called just Lou. Unless it's short for Louise.
True. So you'd be Louisanne.
Yeah.
Guy Joe sounds like a Japanese word for foreigners.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's the Guy Joe.
Or just, yeah, to mean like a bloke.
Yeah.
Guy Joe over there.
Mr. Man over there.
Guy Joe Jr. That's the worst. Anyway.
Guy Joe Jr. sounds like you're stuttering as well.
Well,
Guy Joe Jr.
Anyway. God, Guy Joe Jr. So he stayed with the dad, and we're told that Tess is really annoyed about this, which I don't really know why.
Yeah, she doesn't really like her dad.
No,
I guess
she
consider
doesn't really
this.
like anyone.
Think about this though. This is why I don't think she's a bad guy.
A bad Guy Joe Jr.
Bad guy go Jr. I can't even do it. That's a real tongue twister. Bad guy Joe Jr. Guy go Jr. Sorry.
God.
I'm stuck in it now. I'm stuck. So what happened to their mum?
She must have died, I think.
I think she must have died. So your mum's dead, and your dad marries someone else. So you get used to her, and then they divorce, and your dad doesn't really want you. Do you know what I mean? That's hard. That's hard for a teenager.
That's horrible. Okay, maybe I'm gonna be a bit softer on Tess.
She's searching for a little bit of identity and family, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, so Tess now lives with Shelley in a place called The Shadows. And you're like, really? Who the fuck would call a housing development The Shadows? That's terrible.
I do live on Murder Row.
I live in Death Pit, so The Shadows sounds quite nice.
I live in Hell. Oh no,
Helltown.
sorry, Hull.
That's really good. But someone's made that joke before.
There must be. Yeah, I can't be original. There is another character name in this as well that is too much. It is absolutely jumped the shark, but we'll get to it.
Oh my god, there's a few actually. Anyway, so we also meet, we're still not at the crash by the way, we're still in backstory. So then we meet Gina Gambioni. Is that how you would say that?
I would say Jamboni. Because it's GG, isn't it? Gina Jamboni?
You're right.
Jamboni?
Gina Jamboni. That doesn't sound right.
Because he calls her Jamboni.
Yeah.
As in jam, the food. Bony is
But then
in,
how would you hear it
skinny.
any differently? Because that's exactly what you're saying, the words jam and bony.
Well, maybe it's Jambone. And he calls her Jamboni.
Or Jambione.
Jambione.
Jambioni.
But there's no I.
There is an I. Jambioni.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. That's how I've written it in my notes.
Yeah, maybe we've just written it down differently.
Maybe.
Anyway, whatever her name is. Gina G.
I think, yeah, Gina G sounds quite hot to me, I think. She sounds like my type. She is short, curvy, and short, dark, curly hair. And she wears a red silk dress to church. I think she sounds quite hot. Also, we always go into the queer subtext. Tell me if this is not queer subtext. Gina dated a lot. Because everyone, girls and guys, like to be around her. Which suggests that she dates girls and guys.
Yeah, and everyone fancies her. And she takes her pick of all of them. I also noted that down as queer subtext.
Although it is definitely subtext because she doesn't actually go on a date with any females.
No, we're told
mention them.
We're told that she's a bit of a hoe.
Yeah.
She's always the main character whose name I've forgotten, Tess.
That's how unique and interesting Tess is. We can't remember her name.
To be honest, it's the sheer amount of characters in this book, which I will get into later because I have made an exhaustive list, is overwhelming. Like there's
so
absolutely
many.
Unnecessary amount of characters.
Need all these bland characters.
And so many of them have like an entire family, and you just don't need that, do you?
No.
Although for the plot, you do.
Anyway, I'm sure there would have been a way around it. Anyway, so we're still in backstory. Speaking of stupid names, we also find out that Gina is dating Beak. Who, that's a nickname because he's got a big nose, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Because it's not his real name, it's a nickname. However, she fancies Doss Beecham.
Oh.
Which, are you hearing Wurzel Gummidge in your head? Because that's what I think. Doss Beecham is like a Wurzel Gummidge character.
But I am now. Doss Beecham.
Or he's from like Wind in the Willows.
It just makes me feel awful.
I just picture him as an actual scarecrow.
Doss. Oh.
It's bad, isn't it?
And someone mentions his real name at some point.
Oh, is it
Doss
not
is
Doss?
a nickname. But I can't remember what it was, and it was just as bad.
No, maybe there's a reason he's called Doss Beecham. Anyway, we also find out, we're still not the crash, by the way, we're still in backstory. We also find out that Tess has just broken up with her boyfriend, Sam.
Sam Oliver.
Sam Oliver. Finally, we're at the crash. Fucking great. So the crash is quite dramatic, actually. A mother and small child are crushed.
Ooh.
2 old women die, and little boys get their faces slashed.
Oh.
None of this is ever mentioned again, P.S., because Tess doesn't care. But that sounds brutal to me.
Really awful.
So, like, actual babies and old women are killed, and little boys are disfigured.
The whole place would just be shut down immediately.
Of course it
There
would.
would be no book to have. Like,
No.
you remember when a girl died at Alton Towers last year?
Mm-hmm.
And that was due to one fault on one thing. And I think everyone else was kind of okay. And she just lost her legs, didn't she?
I thought that was in Blackpool, and it was one of those, that's the big tower that you go right up to the top and then you drop suddenly, and didn't a rope wrap around somebody's leg and it ripped their leg off.
And
it was obviously a complete fluke, terrible accident.
I thought it was Alton Towers, and I feel like that wasn't the story at all. And you
Maybe
made
these are
it that
separate
in your
stories.
head.
No, that definitely did happen, but it might have
Ooh.
been a long time ago.
Well, I feel like one person had one accident on one thing at Alton Towers last year, and it was closed for months.
Yeah.
And they
Because they have to investigate everything.
Yeah, check everything works, and so...
Because fun fairs are generally a lot safer than, like, driving to the fun fair is more dangerous than going on the rides at the fun fair.
Exactly, or they wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of them. It's like a haunted house,
Safe,
right?
scary.
It's a safe scare that you feel scared, but you know it's not scary. It's not really dangerous.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun. It would be horrible.
And a car journey's not that.
It's not fun, but it is dangerous.
Yeah, much more. We're stupid people, aren't we?
We are stupid. We should just go on roller coasters everywhere.
There should be a giant roller coaster, like a motorway, that you can get off at any of the points you need to. Oh, like an exit. They shoot you off one way or another.
I'm into it.
Let's pitch for some funding.
I'm in. Okay, also, Tess sees a figure in black sneaking out. Now, my mental image of that is that they're literally sneaking like a cartoon burglar.
Yeah.
Like the legs are going high, you know.
Like the Hamburglar.
Yes.
The McDonald's.
I was like, what's a Hamburglar? Yes, like the Hamburglar, with like a sack on their back.
And a stripy
that says
shirt.
Swag. Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
Swag has really changed meaning now.
Swag. Yeah, that's true. So she sees a figure in black sneaking out. Here's an example. This is what I'm saying. The kids in this book, they're either heartless bitches or they're profoundly traumatized. Because, so Sherry Buchanan, who, remember, her face is destroyed, Gina says, oh, but I just saw Sherry and she was wearing a shirt like one I've got. I mean,
Why?
She's either really traumatized or she's horrible. Because also then Doss says, oh, a kid found Joey's leg. He doesn't even say it jokingly, he just says it. But then Tess is like, oh, he's an insensitive clod. But why doesn't she think that about Gina? Gina's comment's just as horrible. If she, like, imagine if we just heard that someone had died and I was like, oh my god, I've got those shoes. You'd be like, Kirsty, fuck. Either you're secretly awful or you're really upset and, traumatized by this.
They make quite a lot of the purple jumper as well, which is quite unusual because it really doesn't go anywhere. Apart from some person's later on is like, why don't you put that jumper on? And she's like, oh god, no. I was like, well, it wasn't
weird.
The reason she died.
I know, I don't know if they're trying to make it that shows that they're upset. Anyway, it doesn't fucking work.
Also, imagine just finding someone's leg. Some kid found his leg. One.
That's horrible.
How far away was the leg flung?
Well, I know.
So I feel like it'd be in the vicinity. Yeah, it's
it's
just
pretty
finding
rough.
a leg.
I just feel like there's some quite actually upsetting things in this, but they are just papered over and pushed aside, and the really stupid, unupsetting things are very much foregrounded.
Yep, I agree.
But we'll get into all of that. Okay, so then we have what I have labelled the shitty Scooby Gang. So it's this group of mediocre people, like Scooby-Doo gang, but shitty. They all convene, and they correspond to the 8 people on the board of the boardwalk. So the boardwalk as an organisation has a kind of managerial board, and the children of those people are all friends. Well, I don't know if they actually like each other, but they all come together. Except for Doss's dad, because he lost all his money and got kicked off the board. Plot point.
Yeah.
So we can see
Worth
that,
remembering.
yeah, that these things are important for the story. Story in inverted commas. The fact that money means you get kicked off. Lack of the money means you get kicked off the board, and also that they are the kids of the people on the board.
And I feel like this is probably a good point to bring in my list of characters in this book.
Okay.
Because we've already got a bunch of people lost who've been named, and then all the characters. So this is the exhaustive list of the characters in this the point horror book.
Which, by the way, how many pages has it got?
It's 136 pages. Sorry, 163 pages.
Yeah. In big font.
In big font. And here are all the characters. Tess Landers, Dade Lewis, Cherie Buchanan, Joey Furman, Gina Jambone, Mr. Jambone, Mr. Dart, the first Mrs. Landers, Guy Joe Landers Jr., Shelley, Doss Beecham, Robert Rapp, aka Beak, Sam Oliver, Candace Oliver, Mrs. Oliver, Dr. Oliver, Trudy Slaughter, Mr. Slaughter, Debbie Worcester, Madame Suska.
And these people all are mentioned have lines.
Martha, who runs the shooting gallery, Police Chief Chalmers, Police Chief. Kind of difficult to say. Lila O'Hare, Tully O'Hare, Buddy the banker, Boz the police desk sergeant, Trilby the cat, Jim Mancini, and the entire rest of the Boardwalk Directors Board. That is 35 characters in a 163-page book.
So, like, every few pages, a new character.
Oh, so many.
So many.
By page 6, I was so confused.
No wonder you forgot Tess's name.
It's just like, there's so many of them.
There's way too many, and most of them do nothing.
I feel like someone should have dialed that back. An editor should have said, there's too many.
Yeah, I know. Because you don't need to have 8 people on the board. They could have had 4.
Exactly. And it wouldn't have shortened the book any either.
No. It would have just made it less like there's all these people being introduced to do nothing. Anyway, so then Guy Joe appears, and we're reminded again, in case we've forgotten, in case we have some kind of brain damage, I guess, and can't remember things. Tess is annoyed at him for staying with their dad. We're only on page 16, by the way, so just in the last 16 pages if you'd forgotten that she was annoyed. Because I don't know, maybe you're reading this as part of your before bed book, because you know you're 12, and then you're just reading a chapter a night. Who knows? Anyway, we're reminded. We also meet Trudy Slaughter, who you mentioned, and I love that name. I quite like Trudy, because for once we have a fat character. Well, she's big-boned, apparently, but she's fat, which is good, because we hardly ever have fat characters in point horror, which is unrealistic.
And on that point, actually, I would like to read this out about Candace Oliver, who is Sam Oliver's sister. She's a pale, thin, blonde girl. Candace never wore jeans, and the pink dress she was wearing now was much too large for her, billowing around her like a tent. A heavy hand with an eyebrow pencil made her look far more ferocious than she really was. Tess couldn't understand why Mrs. Oliver, who was tall, beautiful, and very elegant, never took the time to teach her own daughter about clothes and makeup, but tonight that didn't seem very important. Now, I thought that was quite an interesting point, that Tess, our main character, judged Candace on her perceived lack of glamour compared to her mum, but then in the face of something actually happening, that dissolved as a thing. She just didn't care anymore.
Well, she still takes time to mention it.
Well, Diane Hoh takes time to mention it. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little, oh, I've judged her, but now that seems stupid.
Maybe. But I also think a big oversized pink dress and strong brows sounds really cool.
Great.
I imagine she looks like Chloe Sevigny.
Oh yeah, I can see that now. Yeah. Brows are back in.
She's just being judgmental, and she's the stylish one, actually. Tess. Fuck you. Tess is so basic. She's such a basic bitch, and she slags off everyone who's not basic.
You love all of the clothes in point horror books.
Yes, I do. Because they're always wearing hot pink dresses, and I love a hot pink dress.
Yeah, chartreuse dress.
Exactly. And strong brows.
I've never seen you wear a hot pink dress.
I do have one. I'll wear it next time I see you. It's an Aussie Clark hot pink.
Oh.
Very, floaty 70s kind of... I got it in a charity shop, obviously. But, Yeah, I'll wear that next time. It's very rustly, so you guys will be able to hear it
Oh,
on the recording. Okay, so Trudy Slaughter, she's big boned, she's popular, but she's kind of a brat. She's quite tantrumy. Also, I like this about her. Later, someone says, "Oh, do you want to go and do this thing?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know. I've got plans. I was going to sleep all day." She don't give a fuck.
she's awful though. Later on.
Yeah.
Also, do you think that name's a bit on the nose?
I mean,
Slaughter.
it is a name.
Is it?
Yeah, like Karen Slaughter, the crime writer. That's her real name.
No.
It is.
It can't
It
be.
is. Well,
This takes
she
me
says
back.
it is.
This
It is
takes
a
me
real
back
name.
to Miss Pye, my cooking teacher.
Yeah. I wonder that there's a name for that. Is it normative determinism?
Oh.
That there's a theory that what name you have determines what you end up doing. So if you're called Karen Slaughter, then of course you will write crime novels. If you're called Miss Pye, of course you'll be into cooking.
By that maxim, I should be a tennis player.
Oh yeah. Oh no, a sword fighter. Is what I would think of as
Oh my
Parry.
god, my little nephew does sword fighting.
There you go.
Oh my god.
There's my proof. That's all I need. One
So
person.
what's a Logan?
Wolverine.
Or berry.
Oh yeah, I should be made of berries. I should make jam.
You've got red hair.
That's why. Is it the colour of Logan berries? Are they blue?
Are they?
Got blue eyes.
Blue dress.
There we go. I'm really reaching. I'm seriously fucking reaching now. Okay. So Tess tells the shitty Scooby gang that she saw someone running away. I know that's not very interesting, but I feel like we need to know that. So then we go into the killer's point of view, and we have alternate chapters from the killer's point of view.
Very interesting, I thought.
Do you?
I liked it.
Oh god, we're not going to agree on this. Okay, so the killer, or the unsub, if we want to do Criminal Minds lingo, the unknown subject.
Oh!
Can you tell I watch trashy crime
Yes!
shows in my free time?
Quite a lot.
So the killer has found Lila O'Hare's journal. And from the journal we learn that Lila and Tully owned the boardwalk. But then the killer says, but there are no O'Hares in all of Santa Luisa where they live. Which I'm like, is that normal? Like, I'm from a small town and I did not know the surname of everyone in the town.
And this was before the internet.
Yeah, so how on earth would they know that?
Maybe they've had a lot of time on their hands.
I mean, how do they find that out? Anyway, so
Yellow pages?
Anyway, so over the book, these kind of journal entries, the killer point of views develop. We find out that Tully killed himself in one of the rides at the boardwalk, and then Lila had to give up her baby to a rich family who bought the boardwalk. So of course, one of the 8 shitty Scoobies is their kid. So one of the 8 is not their parents' biological child. And whoever did this kept her journal and put it in the attic for some reason.
Yeah.
Which does not make sense. Everyone in this book's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Just close the place down.
Close down. And
Someone's
also,
killed
like,
themselves.
if you have bought a baby illegally, don't keep a document that says you've done it.
Don't keep a diary.
Just don't stick it in a box in the attic. Things don't cease to exist when we're in the attic. When we're in the attic. When they're in the attic.
I have no idea what's in there. We've put lots of things in there and I can't recall what they are.
Evidence of all the babies that you bought.
Or sold.
Or sold.
Oh.
Who knows? Maybe I'll go up there and do a little point of view chapter.
I've done none of that. Just to clarify.
Just
ugly lamps.
Legal disclaimer.
Yeah. It's just ugly lamps that came with the flat.
So, oh god, I've also got to point out at this point, Diane Hoh, I'm sure you're a lovely person, but you have never seen an adjective that you did not like. Because every... Why have one adjective when you can have 3?
I feel like you're going to give us an example here.
Yeah, we've got tall, thick bushes, as opposed to
Tall.
thin bushes. A small black metal gate. A heavy oval table. Now, also, the next time the table is mentioned, we're reminded that it's oval. This has no relevance to anything.
We were given, in the last book that we covered, Twins by Caroline B. Cooney, someone had a queer oval mouth.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a queer oval table.
Do you think they're given a list of things that they've got to try and get in when they sign up as a...
Bingo. You could play bingo.
Yeah. Oh.
Black eyes, oval.
White blonde hair.
Yes. No, that's just R.L. Stein.
We're going to have to do point horror bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes. Okay, anyway, I'm not even finished. I'm not going to do all of them because we'd be here all day. We've got a heavy brass poker as opposed to a flimsy brass poker. A white brick fireplace, a small wood-panelled office, a short stubby candle as opposed to a tall stubby candle. Oh, fucking no. Also a blue and white tea kettle, and much time is spent telling us that the tea kettle is blue and white. This has no relevance to anything at all.
Also, I feel like all of those things you mentioned, if you hadn't described them, that's how I would have imagined them anyway. Yeah. Like a small black metal gate.
That's how you would imagine a gate.
To me, that's exactly what I would
Or if
imagine.
someone says poker, you think a poker is heavy.
Yeah.
Or...
It's one of those aluminium pokers they've got now.
Just
really light.
Just really work. But why does it matter? Why does it matter that it's a short, stubby candle? There's no relevance to anything. Oh,
word count.
Of
There you go.
course.
That's why there's so many characters.
We've figured it out.
It's just trying to pad out
Busted.
this very thin plot.
Anyway, so then, amongst the adjectives, Tess goes home to the shadows because her stepmother is in Europe.
Having a great time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. So Tess is home alone. And then the first thing that happens is a note with a stupid rhyme gets put under the door.
I love a stupid rhyme.
Because can I also say, in almost all of these point horror books, when the killer threatens you, they threaten you in such a childish way. Like, just knock on the door and fucking punch her in the face. Why are you putting a stupid note with a poem on it under the door?
Written in purple magic marker.
Which, again, there's no relevance to this.
No.
It's not important. Why is it purple?
They wrote it in crayon. He wrote it in his own shit. That would be much more terrifying.
Way more gross. And
they should do
creepier.
that. That's going to be in the story I
I
wrote.
don't know if you can do that in a point horror.
The shit house is going to be gone.
Anyway, so there's a bit that I thought was maybe the only good bit in the whole book. So she calls the police, which is quite sensible.
Yes.
The cop, he calls her little lady. He says that she's pretty, which I don't think they can do that. He says, "Oh, is that a love note?" Says it's nothing. Says that she's just attention seeking.
Implies that she's just had a fight with her boyfriend.
Exactly. So, to be fair, although I think Tess is an idiot, she's also surrounded by idiots.
Yes.
Literally everyone in this book is stupid. Nobody makes a sensible decision at any point.
No.
But, well, actually, to be fair, her first and only sensible decision is to call the police, and that doesn't go very well.
And I think
in her defence,
Lila O'Hare makes a tough socio-economic decision that's perhaps a good one, given her limited circumstances.
although it doesn't work out very well, but she couldn't have known
Yeah,
that.
she could have known. True.
So then she meets up with Gina, and Gina says that someone hanged himself at the Funhouse long ago, although it says hung, because it's American.
Oh.
Someone hung himself.
Oh.
Which,
Someone just had a
here
massive
we
cock.
say, I know, someone was hung. Woof! Here we say hanged. There you go. Today's grammar lesson brought to you by Kirsty Logan. So then she stays at Gina's house, which is, again, quite sensible, because obviously someone's bothering her at her house, and borrows her cat, Plot Point. Plot Point alert. Plot Point. So she's got a cat now.
Great name. Trilby.
It's quite good.
I think that's a good name for a cat.
Do you know that that's a character in a book, Trilby, which is the same book that Svengali comes from?
Oh.
So Trilby is was a kind of young, beautiful, naive woman who is under the control of a character who's called Svengali.
I didn't know that.
There you
So, when did the hat come?
I think the hat came after.
Oh. Trilby.
Because Trilby, the book was very popular, and lots of things were named after. And unless I'm mixing this up with something else, I don't think I am, because I found it really fascinating and I want to put it in a book. I'm just going to say it on the podcast, because why not? She was really popular, and the hat was named after her, and also you could buy ice creams in the shape of her foot.
Are you going to tell us the name of the book, or is this some sort of suspense?
I can't remember it.
I
think it might be called Trilby, but I might be wrong.
Okay, do your homework, kids.
I know. Well, I didn't realise I was going to bring it up. So I didn't prepare. It just popped into my head.
I feel like this is a good point to bring up. I had a hard relate to our main character, who sort of has a weird relationship with her boyfriend Sam Oliver. Like, they don't really like each other and they seem to break up quite a lot. But she said this about him. It would be nice when she was feeling so sick inside to let Sam take over, but that would just reinforce his notion that she needed looking after. Even though sometimes, like that night, she wouldn't have minded letting him decide things for her, she certainly wouldn't admit that to him. If he wanted someone to take care of, let him buy a puppy. That is exactly the sort of self-destructive and unnecessary ridiculousness that I will do. I'm like, don't help me. I don't want you to think I need help when I absolutely need help. So I hard related there. Maybe that's why I like Tess more than you.
Maybe. I also like the voices that you do. That's the voice that you do when you're taking the piss out of yourself.
Yep.
And then you do a different voice when you're taking the piss out of David.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, we're distinct whiny people. We need to have distinct whiny
Different
voices.
whiny voices. Yeah. That's true. I do feel like you're making this book sound better than I think it is. But maybe I was harsh on it, because I remember loving it as a kid, and then I was reading it again and I was like, what is this shit? I remember this as being much better.
I think it's really bad, but I think it's got some good bits.
Yeah, that's true.
There's also a point as well where I hard related, because there was an organisational shit show. And you know when you've got people and they're all trying to help too much, and everyone's like, well, I'll go, and then someone's like, wait, but if you go, then this will happen, and then someone goes, no, but I've got my shoes off, and then she just ends up going, I'll go,
I've
and
got
I'm
a
like,
headache.
I'm that person who goes, oh, shut up, I'll go, I'll go and do it. So yeah, I like Tess.
You quite like Tess. Oh, I don't like her. I don't think that you're a selfish bitch. Like, I think she is.
Oh, thanks, mate.
That's alright.
I don't think I am either.
Well, it's the nicest thing a British person will ever say.
I don't think you're a selfish bitch.
I don't think you're that bad.
I can tolerate you.
Yeah. Anyway, so then Shitty Scooby Gang all go to the Funhouse.
Which is stupid. Don't go there.
Why are they going there?
Don't go back to the fucking place people have had their faces caved in.
Why isn't it closed?
Where is the parental... Well, the parents want them to go, don't they, for money?
Yeah.
Because they encourage all the kids to go and hang out there, because people aren't going, so they're not earning as much money from the boardwalk.
Yes, this book is very much based on finances.
It is really...
Very economically based.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, they're in the funhouse, and Tess loses her key case, which I guess is a thing that people have. I don't know why.
Purse, you mean?
No, it's definitely just a key case, and it is red leather with her initials on.
Oh,
what a fucking posho.
Spoiled, yeah.
Imagine having that as a kid.
Fucking posho. I mean, it was what I was thinking, but I wasn't going to say it. But if we're going there, fucking posho.
Anyone listening who has a leather key case with their initials on it, I'm sure you're a lovely person, but you're a posho.
You're a posho.
And we will mock you. So then also... Oh yeah, and I've also written... Well, they've also got a housekeeper, and she calls her dad father, so I shouldn't have been surprised that she was a posho. Yeah, anyway. So anyway, Gina goes to get the key case. And what's happened is that there's a room in the funhouse where there's all these big spinning discs on the floor, and you have to make your way across without falling over. And one of the discs is missing. And Gina falls through the hole and breaks her leg. I feel like there's a real mechanical issue here, because it says that the holes between the circles are toothpick-sized. So the gaps between the circles are toothpick-sized. I can't picture how big the circles are.
No. And also, I imagine it's quite dark inside the funhouse. And I imagine that it's light outside. So if one of these discs was removed, it would be so obvious, because light would stream in through it. So you'd have to be registered blind or a complete fucktard to jump through this thing. To fall through. Know. Yeah.
It's really confusing. I just feel like mechanically, if it's a toothpick-sized gap, how are you going to lever it up? How's it going to come up?
Toothpick-sized is incredibly small.
Unless it means the length of a toothpick, which again is a weird thing to describe.
So,
I know, it's weird.
I do really like that she falls down and then they all go over to Gina, and then we get this line. It's broken, volunteered Sam, whose father was a doctor. It's not genetic.
It doesn't mean you're a doctor.
You know that you have to go through medical training, right? How would you know it's broken? You'd be like, it's fucked, your leg's fucked. Go to a doctor.
Yeah, you would be like, I'll diagnose you.
My father's an engineer, so I'll build that bridge.
I mean, my brother's a DJ, so clearly I can DJ. What? Okay. I have to say, actually, there's another thing in this that I have a real, like, mechanical issue with. So,
what a great phrase. For mechanical issue.
Mechanical issue. It's like robot porn. Mechanical issue.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I know.
My
what have you been
God, I
watching?
don't know. I mean, I have been spending a lot of time on the internet. So we're talking about Beak as being a kind of prankster, a jolly japester, which I never find amusing. Practical jokes aren't fucking funny.
No.
And here's why practical jokes aren't funny. Because when you tell someone a joke, the joy is that they find it funny. But a practical joke, the person who plays the joke finds it funny, but the person who the joke is played upon doesn't particularly find it funny.
No.
Which is why I don't think that they're funny.
No.
They're just mean. Anyway, so he's a jolly japester. And it says, quote, he once replaced a kettle of soup in the cafeteria with a pot of glue. What? That doesn't make sense.
No, so people ate glue.
But also,
they die,
a
wouldn't they?
kettle of soup in a cafeteria is big. How? So either there's an enormous pot of glue or a tiny pot of soup.
And how do you get the soup out into the bowl with a ladle? During which process you would absolutely see that it's not tomato soup or whatever. It's not. It wouldn't even be the right consistency. You wouldn't even get the ladle in.
Or he's somehow tipped the soup out and put glue in instead.
And then made it look like soup. That's just a monstrous waste of school resources.
Waste of
if you ask me. Yeah.
A waste of soup and glue.
Yeah. What an idiot.
I just don't... It doesn't make sense.
He also had poured a thick layer of honey into every pair of track shoes worn by his teammates.
He's the fucking worst.
Again, honey is very expensive. And track shoes, even
Very
more so.
expensive.
What a dick. That's not funny. Why is that funny? You wouldn't then put your foot in the shoe and then be like, oh, I'm stuck to it, would you? Because you'd just look at them and be like, there's fucking honey all over my shoes.
So I don't like these pranks.
So you've wasted soup and glue and honey and ruined someone's shoes. And then we're told he has tied 24 aluminium cans to the back of a school bus. It's not even funny, it's just fine. It's just getting
annoying.
in the way of anything, is it? And had once come to American history class on stilts.
Oh, God.
Again, it's not inconveniencing anyone else, it's not funny. It'd just be like, take the stilts off.
Because then we can just do the lesson.
How would you get in the classroom even? So you're walking around school corridors on your own on stilts.
I feel like a small child might find that funny. I don't think a teenager would.
No.
Were we just very sensible? I don't think I was very sensible. I think I was an idiot teenager.
This is the latest in a long line of teenage boy characters doing stupid things that aren't funny. Mm-hmm. Like David Bender throwing himself onto the floor all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's... Maybe they do this in America? Surely not.
What, just fall down?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it. Maybe this is where Jackass came from.
Oh, maybe. But I feel like the teenage boys that I knew when I was a teenager, they didn't do shit like that.
And Jackass, they hurt themselves at least, which is funny.
Is it?
Well, I just don't know.
Anyway, oh yeah, I also have to mention the emotional responses in this book, I've already mentioned, are odd. And the other thing that is odd, that Tess thinks to herself, it's worse for the parents. And you're like, worse than who? Worse than it is for her? Or worse than it is for the kids who've had their faces destroyed and have one leg? Because I think it's worse for them, actually.
Although, I will say, I think the point is that hurting the kids hurts the parents more than hurting the parents would hurt the parents. Because I think if you had a kid, you'd rather be hurt than them.
Well, that's true, but it doesn't say that. It says it's worse for the parents. I just think...
I'm trying to be incredibly generous.
I know you are. Because I also initially read it as she's saying, like, it's worse for the parents than it is for me. And I was like,
duh.
How self-absorbed are you?
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay, well, that would be the more generous interpretation.
Although
that makes more
it's
sense.
Not in the book.
Although it's not in the book.
It's a stupid
but it's better. Anyway, back to the story. Fucking story. So then Tess gets home and there's a dead cat on a lamppost. But it's not, it's just a toy.
It's not, yeah, it's not filming.
Also then...
For once, the cat doesn't die.
I know. Anyway, I don't even want to dig into this plot. But then her car tires get slashed, and then she walks through the woods because she's an idiot. She's an idiot. She's like, it's safer to walk through the woods than on the road. And you're like, is it?
No, it's not.
I don't think
in
it is.
any stretch of the imagination. That's really stupid. Can I just bring up a thing that we've glossed over? When Jean is in the hospital and they are visiting her, she says something that I think is really funny. She's got a broken leg, remember? She says, I like this leg. You might even say I'm attached to it. And I was like, that's good. I think that's really good.
Is it good?
It made me laugh.
It's like a dad joke.
I like a dad joke.
Okay. Okay.
I will be making that joke. I will be going out and breaking my leg.
Just so you can make that joke.
Just so I can make that joke again.
Wow.
And you better laugh.
Oh my god, I will laugh like wind chimes. I will laugh like a frisbee. Anyway, so yeah, she's walking through the woods like a moron. Someone follows her and pushes her in a hole. The hole is in Trudy's garden. Because reasons. And Trudy's dad, Mr. Slaughter, he pulls Tess out and doesn't slaughter her.
Shame.
And that's the end of that bit. None of these things come to anything, by the way. They're just things that happen. They don't mean anything. So then, so they all have a beach party. All the shitty Scooby gang have a beach party. She tries to tell Sam that she has noticed that the kids who've got hurt the worst were the kids of the board members. Except that doesn't actually work because a mother and baby died and the small boys got their faces slashed and the old ladies also apparently died. So I don't really understand where her logic is coming from.
Yeah.
Because apparently she thinks... I don't know what she's thinking. What is she thinking?
I will say in defence of Tess right now, she keeps saying, no, let's not go to the boardwalk. And then everyone is so adamant that they will, that so she sort of gets like glommed into it.
Yeah.
Glommed into the pack, if you will. And then
peer pressure.
In an amazing sort of meta-textual part, they're having this beach party and she says... no, she wasn't going near the water. A drowning would make a great accident, wouldn't it? And I was like, thank God for once a character realises that going near the water when loads of people have been killed is a stupid idea. Because usually they just go swimming in the dark with a stranger on a deserted beach and then end up half dead and you're like, well... you know, you should have seen it coming. So I was like, thank God, Tess Landis, you've read Point Horror, you know what happens.
That's true. Well, if she did go wandering off into the woods...
maybe that was her learning moment.
Maybe it was. Anyway, so she goes for a walk on the beach and in the sand she finds a stone from a class ring. Don't know what that is.
I have American things.
Some kind of ring with a stone in, I'm assuming.
It must be.
I don't know how she knows it's a stone from a class ring and not just a stone. From anything, from a necklace.
Maybe they're really distinct.
Anyway, I don't know. So, a lot of these plot points turn on things that mechanically I'm like, meh, okay.
Doesn't really work.
Also, they all get ptomaine poisoning. Which, okay.
From brownies.
What's ptomaine poisoning? But okay.
Maybe it's... yeah, I don't know.
Ptomaine. Which I assume is pronounced ptomaine.
Like, Ptolemy.
Pterodactyl. So they all get pterodactyl poisoning.
Dinosaur poisoning.
From these brownies. Also, they make a really big fuss, because they're all sick, obviously, from some kind of food poisoning. They make a big fuss. They're like, it's not drugs and it's not booze. And everyone else is like, yeah, you're right, they've got no drugs or booze here. And I'm like, what kind of teenagers are you? You're having a beach party. You're not even having a beer. Really?
I really like
They're 17.
Oh, Americans are really... like, strict on that.
Are they?
Don't forget, they can't drink till they're 21.
Jesus, okay.
So that's like us drinking at 12, which did happen in my town.
I feel like for everyone in the UK, by the time you get to 21, you're like, I'm sick of drinking.
I can never drink again.
I never want to drink again.
Please take me away from this. But yeah, so I think they're a bit puritanical.
Oh.
A lot more puritanical than we are. And that's not to say that people don't drink, but I think it's sort of more regular.
I feel like they would smoke a joint or something, surely.
I did like a bit where one of the parents is like, well, we've always considered that little Johnny might get into drugs and all this, and I was like, oh, you're quite woke. You sort of know what's going on, you know what I mean? Usually they're like, well, they would never touch a drop of beer, and these ones are like, well, we thought it might happen.
Yeah, okay then.
I also want to say, this insane poisoning that they have. Guy Joe Jr.
I can't believe you forgot that amazing name. I'm going to have 10 kids just to call them all Guy Joe 1, Guy Joe 2, Guy Joe 3.
John Joe, Brian Joe, Andy Joe. Go through.
No, it has to only be one syllable. I can't have Brian.
Oh yeah,
Bri Joe.
Bri Joe. Whoa. So Guy Joe Jr. Is poisoned. One of the people is poisoned, and it says his pain was so great that he'd bitten through his bottom lip.
I know. Like all the way through.
Like
I've accidentally like bitten down on my lip and made it bleed, but not through.
Oh, you're self-piercing at that point. That's really intense, I think.
You'd need to have some strong teeth.
It made me recoil.
Maybe he's got vampire teeth.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so we're coming near the end of the book now, so...
Can I...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you go on.
No, you tell me first.
So, very soon, she's allowed to borrow her dad's car. In fact, he insists that she takes the car. And it's a Mercedes, and I've written in capital letters here, how come you're allowed to drive your dad's Merc? I'm 31 years old, and my dad will still not let me drive his car, which is a Volkswagen Jetta. It is not a Mercedes. And I found this with all these books. I'm like, how come you're 16 years old, and you're allowed to drive what will always be like a BMW or a Merc or whatever,
but they're so
Chrysler.
rich. He's probably got 5 Mercedeses.
It's like when you watch My Super Sweet 16, you remember that show?
Yeah, but aren't they all ludicrously rich?
Ludicrously rich, and they have a tantrum because they don't get the right type of like Jaguar or American equivalent. I wanted a pink one, and I got a white brand
that's
new.
What these characters are all like.
£120,000 car, and you're like, oh god, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they're a lot more awful than I'm giving them credit for.
Spoiled brats, personally. That's just me. Anyway, so we're coming to the climax. So here we go. At her dad's house, father's house, she finds the following. Tess finds the following things: a ring without a stone, a key case, a napkin from the beach party, and a purple pen. It's the killer's keepsakes. Who do you think the killer is? Well, you know who it is. Who do you think suspicion has fallen upon? I mean, none of them, because they're all so bland that we don't really care.
And there are too many of them, and there's not enough plot to go around, so you hadn't really... I don't know who I think it was at this point. I know who it is now.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'll tell you. Do me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
No, I meant did it.
Oh, really? Then you sing the countdown noise, not a countdown. Okay.
Give me the countdown noise.
Boom.
It's Guy Joe Jr. He's probably angry that he's got such a stupid name.
Gotcha.
He also does an absolute Scooby-Doo confession just to like tie in with our whole Scooby thing that we're doing. Here's what he says. I love this. Yes, I did it, he said triumphantly. I did all of it, and it was easy, so easy. This town is full of fools, greedy fools. They wouldn't close the boardwalk because they were afraid of losing a few dollars. They made it so easy for me.
You always go into a Vincent Price voice at the end of these quotes. I love
that's
it.
how it's written. Anyway, so she doesn't quite understand it because Tess then goes over everything. So she's like, Guy Joe Jr., you pushed me? And he's like, yes, I did. And then she's like, Guy Joe Jr., you poisoned the brownies? And he's like, yes, I did.
Yes, that was me.
And then she's like, Guy Joe Jr., you lifted the disc? And he's like, fucking yes! I just told you.
I'm confessing to everything.
Don't have to go through all of the things.
I already left this completely unnecessary shrine to all my crimes in a place where it would definitely have been found by his dad already, because it's his dad's car. Oh, it makes no sense at all.
No, it was in the house. It was in the house, all the things.
Then why did she find it when she goes to borrow her dad's car?
No, she finds it in his house.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, yes, he fucking did all the things.
Because he's Baby O'Hare.
Yes.
So he finds out that his dad bought him, and then they drove his real mum to suicide because they didn't give her all the money that she was supposed to have, and they didn't really help her out of that situation. So both his mum and his dad killed themselves in the Funhouse because of all these rich fucks being dicks to them.
Yep. And anyway, that's not even the end of the story, because then, obviously now Guy Joe Jr. has to kill Tess. Oh. So he takes her to the Funhouse, and he makes her take off her shoes, which kind of seems like she can't walk now, which is weird.
She's like, I can't stand on that floor, and you're like...
Yeah, she's like really helpless with no shoes on, which I'm like, would that not help you grip with no shoes on?
Maybe she's got no feet.
I don't know. She's obviously got some kind of magical magnet shoes. I don't really understand. Anyway.
Where does one purchase these magical magnet shoes?
I don't know. I want some. Sounds good. Walk up buildings.
Absolutely, it would be clocks.
Magic steps.
They do the sort of thing.
Anyway, this is my favourite destruction of a... I remember I did that when I was at uni and I was in my final year and I'd kind of lost my mind trying to do my dissertation. And I remember I came into the kitchen and said to my flatmate, is it accurate to say in this book that fire represents both destroyal and renewal? And she was like, well, no, because destroyal is not a word. And I was like, yeah, but it's the opposite of renewal, so it goes destroyal. And she was like, Kirsty, it's destruction. Destroyal is not a word. And I was like, yes, it is. Why are you being like this? And I actually had to go and look it up in the dictionary because I would not believe that destroyal was not a word.
Wow.
So that's where my head was at.
It reminds me of my very good friend Eva, who is German, and she once said yoga destructor instead of yoga instructor to me, and it was one of the best days of my life.
Yoga destructor. Do you know what I love? Annie likes Jeremy Kyle, which I hate because I just shouting. It gives me a headache. But what I love about that is that they quite often call it a lie detester. And even better, they sometimes go, I want a lie detester text. And I like that. It should be called a lie detester.
So you just get a random text that tells you how much they hate lying.
Yeah.
You should not be lying. I detested
your lies.
I also just want to say that we live around the corner from a bus depot, and Eva once called it the bus deposit, which it should be called.
Nice.
It should be called.
I remember reading as a kid not Victorian novels, but what's she called? Enid Blyton novels.
Oh yeah.
The Girls at St. Clair's, and they called the hospital wing the SAN, SAN dot, which was the sanatorium, but I read it as sanitary every time they go to the sanitary.
Oh.
Weird. Anyway, back to Funhouse, a whole lot of fun. So Tess whips off her chain belt.
Hello.
And whips Gaijo Jr. with her chain belt. And then, while he's incapacitated, she lifts this metal floor disc, which apparently everybody can lift, and then he falls through and dies, kind of, even though didn't
no
kill.
One else killed,
no.
Yeah.
Anyway, however, it turns out that he's not dead because there's an epilogue that shows he's only in a coma and he will return.
Oh.
I mean, however, that was in 1991 and he is yet to return.
Is there not a Funhouse 2?
I don't believe there is.
Funhouser.
Maybe it wasn't as popular as anticipated.
I mean, it is a shit book.
You said you liked it.
There are parts of it that I quite
I've
liked.
talked you out of it.
There are parts of it I quite liked, but there's a dazzling array of characters that really don't need to be in the book. The plot is paper thin and full of holes. And the whole thing... I mean, I did sort of like the socioeconomic... because the O'Hares must be Irish as well, which meant they would have been quite low down on the social ladder in America. So do you know what I mean? I quite like that little nod to history, but it's just a terrible book.
Yeah, it's quite bad. Let's go over the things. So stupid names. Oh, Gaijo Jr. and Gaijo Senior.
So many stupid names in this. I mean,
and Dos Beecham.
Trudy Slaughter, Madame Suska, who's mentioned in passing and never again. And I feel like
isn't it?
Martha, who runs the shooting gallery, is my favourite. Just what a great... Oh, I want to be Martha. Jim Mancini, Trilby the cat.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a cat, you can get away with a stupid name, I suppose.
Yeah. Cherie Buchanan. Just makes me think of Neil Buchanan from Art Attack.
I don't like Sherry either.
Yeah.
So there's lots of American things in it. We've got condominium again.
Yep.
Which now we know what that means.
Yep.
It's an apartment you can buy.
Yep.
I feel like I've really been educated. There was also a mention of a carport.
Oh, is that just like where you park your car?
Like a roof?
Oh, maybe.
But not a garage, but like just a roof.
It's very Jetsons, isn't it?
I don't really understand what the point of it is.
It's the carport. You fly your car
yeah, like
into
an airport.
it.
I know, I don't understand what a carport is. There's also skee ball. What's skee ball?
Oh yeah, skee ball
What
is a
skee ball?
sport. No, sounds awful.
It does.
Sounds like something that would have fallen prey to the Me Too movement by now. Oh, they were playing skee ball.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
And it's SKEE, not like skiing.
So it's more like
Skee
skeezy.
ball.
Yeah.
Skeezy ball.
Oh no.
I don't know what skee ball is. And also a class ring, which I don't know what that is.
I'm just
Is it
thinking
like a
anus now.
ring?
Sorry.
A ring to show what year you graduated. I don't want people to know what year I graduated.
I mean, I put my year of birth in my email address, which is
That's
true.
a mistake.
That is a sort of thing that someone who's 21 does, and then when they're 31, really regrets it.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
And
Too late now.
I think the whole thing is quite American in that we don't really have fun houses on the beach.
Unless we live in Blackpool.
Unless we live in Blackpool, and then that's all we know.
Yeah, that's our only cultural link to that. There's also another thing, which I can only assume is an American thing or a 90s thing, because, okay, quote, Tess hooked the black rubber phone grip over her shoulder. She did the what with the what?
Phone
She
grip?
hooked the black rubber phone grip over her shoulder. What?
I'm just imagining a rubber glove that you have if you're really rich to stop your car phone sliding out of your hand while you're driving.
I'm imagining it's like a thing. So you know when you used to use the landline and you would like hold it against your shoulder if you needed your hands.
Yeah.
But so it must be some type of a thing to like make that easier.
Absolutely
I've never
unnecessary
seen that.
bit of gear.
Just rich people stuff.
Yeah.
Hashtag rich people things.
Oh yeah, let's make lists.
More unnecessary objects to buy. I don't know. You could probably get them Swarovski'd if you wanted. Anyway, I don't know.
You've made that a verb, haven't you?
Swarovski? Those little crystals.
Yeah, but you made it into a verb.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's a
Swarovski.
verb. I don't think it is. I just thought I would verb that noun. So 90s things. At one point she listens to George Michael on her Walkman,
she did, no
which I
Walkman.
liked. I really liked that. One of the first tapes I ever had was George Michael, and my babysitter gave me it.
My friend has just got a George Michael tattoo. Hi, Josh.
Wow, that's cool.
It's quite cool, actually. It's not his entire face.
Oh,
It's not a
boo.
Steve-O thing. It's
Like
much
his
more
face
subtle.
on his bicep so you can kiss it.
Oh, if only.
That would be
That'd
cute.
be lovely.
So there's tons of fashion in this, much of which we've already mentioned. I also like everything that Trudy wears sounds kind of awful but good.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we first see her in beige silk slacks over a red leotard.
What?
It kind of sounds like, you know, fashion ugly. That lots of things that are high fashion, you look at them and you're like, that is
That's
disgusting,
awful.
but it's
Yeah.
very fashionable. She also wears an expensive pink jumpsuit belted in rich leather. I don't know what makes it an expensive jumpsuit.
Belted.
Like wearing a belt, I think that just means she's got a belt on.
Rich leather.
She loves jumpsuits because later she wears an elegant yellow jumpsuit.
Oh, I would wear that.
I mean, I would wear I'll wear the pink one. I'll wear the expensive one with the belt, the pink
I'll
one.
wear
You can
that.
wear the yellow one.
Yeah. Horrific sounding.
That could be
yellow
our
one.
teenage scream outfits.
Yes.
Uh,
They also wear
Jumpsuits.
matching blue Santa Luisa high windbreakers.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a really
weird.
American thing to be that into the high school that you go to.
Like a
I
s-
would never.
a school windbreaker.
You wouldn't get me in a Romage comprehensive windbreaker, even if you paid me.
No.
I would barely keep the uniform on.
No, I didn't even like wearing my school blazer.
No, I threw mine in a bush once. I think my mum had to buy me a new one.
Oh, you are the worst kid! Oh my god!
I really don't like uniforms. Someone also wears a faded tan raincoat and matching hat, which I think is
A
supposed
matching
to be a
hat?
dowdy. Inspector Clouseau that wears that, doesn't he?
Does he?
Faded tan raincoat and a matching hat.
Don't like that.
Not very teen.
So I was kind of into Trudy's outfits, except then at one point she wears a pink jumper with a fat pink velvet bow in her hair, which sounds awful.
All right, Minnie Mouse, calm down.
Fat pink velvet bow.
Hat.
I'm imagining it's like that it just sits on the top of her head.
Wasn't there a phase like last year where loads of kids were wearing like giant bows because of some YouTuber or something? Wow.
Oh, I remember that.
Hello, out of touch adult.
The one I find really weird is when people put a bow on their babies but hasn't got any hair, so they have to kind of glue it on.
Glue. I don't think they glue it on.
What do they do? Double-sided tape? What is
They
it?
will it to stay there.
Just ask it nicely.
Could you please?
I don't know how that works. Anyway, yeah, lots of fashion. Let's do our top trumps.
Too stupid to live heroin. Kind of.
She is a moron, but to be fair, so is everyone. Everyone in this book is so stupid and makes a series of incredibly stupid decisions.
I feel like anyone who falls through a hole in an enclosed space that must be dark is an idiot because they've fallen into a hole of light.
Yeah,
They must be stupid.
they are.
And also, just don't... I can't reiterate this enough. Don't go to the Funhouse / boardwalk where people keep getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
It is a health and safety hazard. Where are the regulatory bodies again? Where are the fire
Who's in
service?
charge here?
Who is in charge? Also, I quite like that it's a sort of anti-capitalist thing, because all they care about is money, which is why their kids end up dead. And then they attempt to buy another human person, which is, literal slavery in a way. And then the socioeconomic impact of that makes 2 people kill themselves.
Yes, that's true.
Maybe it's a really weirdly socialist novel.
You can read it on a few different levels if you want to.
I mean, it's shit on all levels, but there you go.
I mean, the only thing is she's so paper thin. Like, she's got no past, she's got no likes or dislikes, she's got no goals or desires, she wants nothing.
She's from a broken home, and that's all you need.
That's all you need to know about her. That's literally it. We know nothing at all about Tess. She is just a cardboard cutout.
Interestingly, we don't really have a sexy bad boy sociopath. He's
No.
not sexy at all.
Because Sam was... We don't know anything about him. We don't know why they broke up or anything. He's also a cardboard cutout. Don't know anything about him. And then Guy Joe Jr. is her brother, and also... You can't fancy someone called Guy Joe Jr.
Guy Joe Jr.
Death toll.
Ooh.
Many.
Yeah, loads.
Many unnamed people. Can I just say... The level of collateral damage in Guy Joe Jr.'s plan is incredible. What a stupid plan.
Very high. Just go around quietly murder each one of the kids.
Because if your plan was to get the boardwalk shut down, well, it failed, so wouldn't you continue to try and do that? He doesn't try and do that again. And if your plan is to kill the kids, why are you doing the thing with the roller coaster? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Why are you doing the thing? That could be a response to any point horror, but why are you
doing
this?
this? Why are you
Stop
doing
doing
this?
the thing.
This doesn't even make sense. Your evil plan doesn't even make sense.
So we've got both O'Hares who've killed themselves. We've got person who died on the roller coaster, face smashed in person. I'm going to call them half a death.
Yeah, and the leg lost.
Lost a leg. That leg's dead for sure. So we've got... Sorry, that looks obscene. We've got 4.
Potentially the mother and baby. I mean, all it says is that the roller coaster carriage crashes onto them, but you're like,
that's got to be dead.
That's got to be dead.
That's got to be a very hearty baby, otherwise.
Yeah, hearty. Hardy.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He was delicious and filling.
He was like porridge. That baby was made of porridge.
Tomato soup of baby.
Wait, because if you get the tomato soup, it might be glue.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Careful.
Glue baby.
Careful. Oh, glue baby. We didn't have much of a queer subtext.
No. I mean, there's no subtext of any kind.
Barely text.
It's just loads of adjectives and character names.
Loads of characters being described. Is it good though?
No, I think it's stupid. I think it's not scary. I hate all the characters, including the police and the parents.
Yeah, true.
So, no, I don't think it's good.
I also don't think it's good. I'd give it a 2.
Yeah, I would give it a 2. Yeah, because it's not... There are worse ones.
There are worse ones. There are more irritating ones. This is just sort of bland, isn't it?
It's just like...
sort of stupid and not really scary or interesting.
And to be fair, you can read it a bunch of times and you'll instantly forget it. So you could just own this one book.
You could
read it over and over every day and you'll instantly forget it.
You could probably read it 35 times, one for each character. Ridiculous. Is it good, bad?
Yeah. Well, I've given it a 3.
I don't think it's entertaining enough to be good, bad. Really.
Yeah. Unless you can just laugh at Guy Joe Jr.
Guy Joe Jr.
Guy Joe Jr.
Guy Joe Jr. Guy Joe Jr. If that was my name, I would come into that at every point, just screaming in a different intonation.
You would just mumble it every time and then laugh at people going what did they just say? I feel like if I had an unusual name, that's what I would do. Just mumble it. And see people going oh no, I don't know what she said.
Oh no, though, because I've lived in a country where they didn't really understand my name and it gets really tired real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay, never mind. Let's not do that.
I would say, don't really read this book.
No. I mean, if it's sitting there and you've got a spare hour,
yeah,
why not?
I did read it in the sun and that was quite nice.
I think that's why you liked it more than me.
Just from a vitamin D.
The sun made you happy.
Vitamin D made me a lot more generous.
So maybe not with this one.
Kirsty, what will we be reading along next?
So next we are doing a classic, The Babysitter by R.L. Stein.
The OG.
The OG.
You might say.
The OG R.L.
Yeah.
I would say this is maybe the kind of prototypical point horror.
Yeah.
It ticks all the boxes.
one of our listeners has recently bought her first Point Horror t-shirt, and I think it's the babysitter.
It is, and
cover.
It's very cool.
Hi, Dr. Emma.
Yes,
Great
you have
t-shirt.
got a good t-shirt.
You do. So if you want to make sure you don't miss that episode, you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitcher and Apple Podcasts and all those sorts of podcast apps. And you can leave us a review to tell people how great we are.
We would love that very much.
Spread the word a little bit around your crew. I don't know why I keep saying crew today.
Yeah,
Sorry about
never
that.
heard you say that before.
It's definitely a thing with me.
Okay.
Can people get us on social media, Kirsty?
They can chat to us on Twitter. We are at @TeenageScream_, and on Instagram we are at TeenageScreamPod. You can join in the conversation, request what other books we might do. You can show us your Point Horror t-shirts if you've got one.
Yes.
Please have one.
All their bags.
All the
that
bags.
you've got.
I've got a Point Horror tote bag. I will be posting pictures of that.
I need to get something.
Yeah, something.
A yellow jumpsuit.
Yes, and I'll get a pink one.
Yes.
Good plan, good plan.
If you don't want to miss those purchases, be sure to follow us on social media. You can also find us on Patreon if you search for Teenage Scream Podcast. And there you can, if you're enjoying the podcast and you think that you would buy us a donut or a coffee in the street if you saw us.
And if you see us in the street, we basically always want a coffee or
and
a
a
donut.
Yeah, do that. But if you can't, then a good way to help us towards the running costs of this podcast is to just sling us a couple of pounds here and there if you want to. If not, no worries, we're going to keep making them because we love these regardless.
Yes.
And don't forget, it will be the babysitter next time, and I'm really excited by that.
Me too. Looking forward to it.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.